The first episode of Frieren is undoubtedly a lesson in how to start a story in a way that not only introduces the characters and the world, but also thrills you and makes you rethink your entire life. Without a doubt, this anime is one of the best I've seen this year, and I'm only on the second episode, at least at the time of writing the script. Now, while recording the video, I'm on episode 6, but the other episodes don't matter for now, since I'm going to explain how the first episode of Frieren is the perfect story starter. Frieren caught me off guard. I've watched 2 episodes while writing the script, and I already had to make a video, even though I don't usually analyze individual episodes, but this one deserves it. The episode begins with a group of adventurers returning to the capital when suddenly it drops a line, "We've killed the Demon King, life goes on."
What the fuck?
At that moment, my mind was, okay, so how the hell are they going to continue the story? But anyway, in just 2:30, the series is already breaking a major cliché, so to speak, which is the typical story of the hero who is going to save the world from the great threat. I'm not sure because, as I said, I'm just starting the series, but I would say it breaks with the typical hero's journey. Then it immediately plays with giving you a different perspective on elves. In practically all works, elves live longer, and this is related to mythology, and Frieren puts you in the perspective of that elf, using a quality that in other works is mentioned but left aside, or not given much importance. At least in this first episode, any other kind of power that Frieren has, however powerful, is completely irrelevant. The only thing that matters is that longevity attribute, and the entire plot revolves around that attribute. Clarifying again that I'm only talking about the first episode, and all this, my friends, in just 3 minutes. Then we see them enter the capital. We see how grateful the city is. The heroes are transformed into legends, and suddenly the meteor shower scene just 5 minutes into the series makes the theme crystal clear. Note that when they mention killing the Demon King, at the 3-minute mark, that was already hinting at the anime's theme, though not as explicitly. The point is, when they start reminiscing about their adventures, nostalgia hits you, even without knowing these characters. Feels like you've been following their adventures, so you truly feel like what you're watching isn't just the first episode, but the end of a story you've been following for years, and it achieves this through dialogue. This is another key point that makes the episode so brilliant, because it doesn't rely on flashy power-ups, tragic deaths, a devastating threat, or epic battles. The series begins right at the start of the peace era, meaning there are no real conflicts. People live in paradise. The only thing that makes you connect with these characters is the dialogue, and playing on the fact that you already know this kind of story. You don't need to see how it began, you can imagine it. The point is, the series quickly establishes the theme and introduces the characters. And then the meteor shower begins, an event that only happens once every 50 years, and Himmel drops the existential bombshell. Just to wrap things up, in case it wasn't clear, Frieren promises to return to see the next meteor shower, and then 50 years pass through short scenes that show Frieren's adventures quickly and effectively. This episode is so brilliant precisely because it never lets go of the theme for a second. It doesn't show her overcoming an obstacle or anything like that. The scenes are short and fast, making you understand the passage of time without explicitly stating it. Narratively, this is brilliant. Frieren appears exactly the same, but everything else has changed. The city, her friends, etc. Time has passed except for her. The beauty of starting at the end is it doesn't just show you the triumph, it shows you the triumph aged. You see that for them, the adventure was something enormous, unrepeatable. For her, it was just another chapter in an absurdly long life, and yet the episode makes it clear that she did love them. The problem isn't a lack of affection, it's a mismatch in time. And then comes the moment that seals the episode, Himmel's funeral. If Frieren had been just another anime, there would have been epic battle flashbacks, dramatic speeches with rain falling. But no. What you get is silence, old people crying, Frieren still seemingly cold, and you on the sofa realizing that she's calculating for the first time how little she understands about humans and life. Starting at the end isn't just a cool script trick. It's the anime's way of telling you, I'm not going to tell you how she saved the world. I'm going to tell you how she learned too late to value the people she saved it with. Frieren sacrifices the typical hero's journey structure and starts at the end. It uses what you already know from 1,000 fantasy stories to skip over it and dive headfirst into what almost no one explores: the passage of time, aging, loss. The happy ending becomes the first step in a much more mature story. It's not perfect because it's flawless, but because it clearly establishes the central theme of the work. It sets the tone, melancholic, measured, but not boring. It develops and bids farewell to characters who technically won't be around as much anymore, but who remain alive in the viewer's memory. Frieren doesn't ask you, what would you do if you had your whole life ahead of you, but rather, what are you going to do with the little time you have left with others? And that, for a first episode, is incredible. Would you like me to make a video analyzing the character of Frieren? I only have the first season to work with, but I did the same thing with Chainsaw Man. I did an analysis of what Denji represents in terms of modern masculinity. It's a fairly long video that I put a lot of love into. Here it is for you to watch.